Howdy, Mr. Leahy's class. This is Mrs. Fecto at the crack of dawn with a screencast showing you, or rather reminding you, how to find stuff in BHS Library. So, what you do is you start at Beverly High School, you go to About Our School, Library, Library Resources. Once you're there, you click on that and it brings you to the website. The library website. The first thing we're going to look at is the catalog. That's where you find books. You click on that, and it brings you up to this window here. Now, since you are 11th graders, I'm assuming you're doing US 2, so you've got lots of interesting topics. It is my favorite era of American history. So let's say that you're looking at Woodstock, because who wouldn't want to look at Woodstock? Click on that. I'll probably bring up 7. Okay, did you see that I did that right before? That was a total guess. We've got some great stuff here. Here's Woodstock. Okay, so what you need to be aware of is this tells you where the book is. This is nonfiction, you can tell by the number. This is fiction, that means it's about Woodstock, but it is not actually. Then we've got some weird stuff about the desert. Here's, not all, King Philip's War, come on. All right, so it looks like of these 7, maybe 4 of them actually deal with it. So you're gonna kind of eyeball to see. Once you get to something, let's say that you want to look at the 60s reader, you click on that, and it tells you all of this information, which is what you need for your works cited page, for your bibliographic entry. But there's also this stuff here, the description, little summary. This can help you when you're writing your annotated bibliography notation. Another thing that can help you is the author information in the book. The reason you're doing an annotated bibliography is just to make sure that you know that your resources are good. With books, it's not that hard to justify them. Databases, even less so probably, and we'll talk about the internet when we get there. All right, so you're looking for this. Here's the number. This number corresponds to the number on the spine of the book, like this. And what you are going to do is just look on the shelves. There are markers on the end caps that tell you what numbers are in there. 973 is the general number for American history. You might find some stuff with 300s, like the book that I showed you here has 300s. That's social history. But 973 are the ones that are against the wall, sort of behind the classroom. And there's 973.92 is a pretty big number, so you want to make sure that means there's a lot of books. There's probably 40 books or so with that number. So you're going to want to be aware here of the author, the first 3 letters of the author's last name. Once you get to the number, then they're alphabetical by the author's last name. If you should decide to check a book out, on the inside back cover, you're going to see a sticker that says Beverly High School Library, and it's either going to have 6 numbers or 13 numbers. You need the last 6. So this one would be 405, 378. Those 6 numbers are what you check it out with. There's a clipboard on the main desk right at the front of the library that says check out books here. You're going to need your first name, last name, your grade, the title of the book, unless you're taking something out and you don't want the title out. You don't have to write the title of the book, but make sure that those 6 numbers from the inside back cover are extremely legible, because that's how I log it into the computer. Okay, once you get to the book, you're all set. There's not a ton at Beverly High School Library, particularly, I mean, we have a nice general amount, but if you're doing a topic that a lot of other people in other classes are doing, you know, they may have gotten here first. So what I will tell you is, especially for 11th grade, the Beverly Public Library, there are 2 libraries, one in the farms and one downtown. You should definitely go there. And the college libraries, Endicott, Gordon, Salem State, even Montserrat, depending on what your topic is, they all have very robust libraries with databases that we don't have access to. So it'll also give you an idea of what a college library looks like, which is a good idea. You're probably going to use one eventually. All right, so that's books. Databases, that's where the big money is. If you click on databases, you probably remember this. There are a bunch of great databases for topics that you would have. So, okay, agriculture, if you're looking at what westward expansion, criminal justice, all of these are specific. Gender studies, global issues, home improvement, well, that's kind of a stretch. Military and intelligence. Opposing viewpoints is really interesting. It looks at controversial issues, pop culture studies, anything that you're doing on the 60s, 70s, how people were perceived in the arts. And then finally down here is U.S. history. That's sort of the sweet spot for U.S. history, which is the class that you're taking. You used to need a password, but I believe that if you're at a Massachusetts IP address, all of these databases are free for anyone from Massachusetts. So I don't believe you need a password anymore. If it does ask you for a password, the password for the school is Panther, but you may not need it. All right, so let's say that you're putting something in here and you want to look at Vietnam, the Vietnam War. All right, see how it's bold? That means it's a collection, which is really nice. You can look at other things, but the collection is put together the most neatly. They give you an overview here, then they have featured contents reference, which are books, selections from books, primary sources, which you're going to need, biographies, images, videos, audio. Then you've got your newspapers, your magazines, and your academic journals. The newspapers tell you why your topic is still important. It's still being written about in the news. Magazine articles give a sort of general look at the topic, assuming that it's something that you're looking at because you're interested. And then academic journals. This is where people who are professional historians talk about the stuff they know best. So they're a little harder to get through, but there's so much more payoff because there's a lot more ideas. They're a lot more dense. So if you remember, there were 3 of them on the page, but if you click on it, it gives you 45. So let's say that you're looking at these and you're trying to find something. Ooh, liberal activism in Massachusetts. All right, so you want to look at how the Vietnam protest movement has continued on. So this is an article that might work for you. We're going to click on that. And it gives you the blah, blah of the article. Oh, this looks great. Cradle of the American Revolution. I'm so proud. All right, and your citation down here, the lovely thing about the databases is they give you the citation. You're using Turabian, which is also known as Chicago. Turabian is named after Kate Turabian, who created a version of citation at the University of Chicago. So it's Chicago or Turabian. Anyway, you click on that. It gives you your perfect, lovely citation. You're just going to copy it and paste it. Anytime you find anything that you think might work, copy and paste this information into a document. That way you've got it. You can always get back to it if you need to. All right, so those are the databases. That's my recording device. You don't need to see that. All right, we're going to go back here. And I want to show you the Salem Press history books. I have so much really good, these are ebooks. They're books that have been digitized. So I actually have these on the shelf, but you can also get at them without having to be in the actual library. The password for this is Beverly Panther. If you just put in Panther, you're going to get to some substandard high school that has like 6 books. We have a very robust and lovely collection. So you can search like you would in a search engine, but we also have the major part of this. There's some English stuff over here, but the defining documents collection. So depending on what you're looking at, like let's say you're not really sure what you want to do, but you want to do something about the 1950s. You can click on this one and it gives you the table of contents for defining documents in the 50s. And then you can sort of look through and see what you think you want to look about. Gee, I'm kind of interested in Joe McCarthy, or when he got yelled at again, the civil rights era. There's lots of different types of things. Ooh, Disneyland 1 year. Okay, this has nothing to do with history really, but I'm interested now. So let's say you want to look at the impact of Disneyfication of America. So you click on this, Disney at 1 year old. Okay, so these things are awesome because you actually get 2 citations in one. The first one is this historical document, News from Disneyland. The author of that is the Public Relations Department, Disneyland Incorporated. But then you've also got this commentary, and that's by Anna Akatola, who has her master's degree and is published from Defining Documents, so you don't really have to justify if she knows what she's talking about. So she's doing all the commentary. So the way this is laid out is it gives you an overview of what the document is. Why is it a defining document? who wrote it, and the author is actually a group of people, which is sometimes problematic, but in this case, we know specifically who it is. Then you've got the document itself. This tells you, what's going on. Then the writer analyzes the document, gives you essential themes, and then there's even more additional reading if you're interested. Your citations are down here, and again, it gives you, this is your citation for the commentary, but if you're quoting this, you're going to get your information up here for how you quote that. So it's sweet because you have two different sources in one. You're welcome. Let's see. Did I have anything else that I wanted to show you from the ebooks? I do not believe so. No, we've got Britannica. There's also some specific databases at the Beverly Public Library. If you have a Beverly Public Library card, you can use those. The Boston Public Library has a lot of robust databases. One in particular is JSTOR. You just click on that link, go to A to Z Resources, and then JSTOR starts with a J. And this is one that you will use in college if you're doing any sort of historical research. You click on that. You are going to need an e-card from the Boston Public Library and a PIN number. That's mine. And once you go in, you just search. In general, it's very robust. To get an e-card, let's actually, you know what? Let's just go up here. Tra-la-la. Click on that. Oh, and it should give you services, maybe. Services, e-cards. Click on that. And then register for an e-card. All you have to do is live in Massachusetts and give them your email address. So once you do that, they'll email you. Use your school email because that's proof that you live in Massachusetts. And then they'll give you a card and you can use all of their databases, which are epic. All right, general internet stuff we're not going to talk about much because frankly, you're not going to need it. Although, for your purposes, one thing that will, I just Googled Google, nicely done, Fecto. One thing that will help you a lot, honestly, you're having to sort through so much. Let's say that you're looking at Eisenhower, okay? Dwight David Eisenhower, great military general and eventually the president, Eisenhow. Eisenhower, Dwight. Okay, so you Google Dwight David Eisenhower and there's 25,900,000 results with Wikipedia being the top. Wikipedia is a great way to get a general overview, not something that you can cite because you don't know who wrote it. So you can get your basic info here, but let's say that you can get that stuff in the databases as well and it's citable. One thing that you can do, especially if you're looking for primary resources, if you go down here to Settings, Advanced Search, and you type in site or domain, GOV, that's only going to give you government websites, which are, and you're now down to 108,000. Still an awful lot, but every single one of them citable because you now have the government of the United States as your person who is responsible. So you can, the National Park Service, America's Libraries, which is Library of Congress, the Eisenhower Library, the State Department. So all of these are sites that are immediately citable, which is super, super handy when you're doing research of this sort. So I guess that's all that I have to show you. If you have any questions or if you find something that you want to cite that you're not sure how to do it, come find me because I love this stuff. I love citations. And that sounds super nerdy, I know. Also, if you are not sure what you want to do for your topic or you're having a hard time honing in on an interesting perspective for your topic, I'm also great at that. Not to brag, but I write research papers for fun. All right, so you guys should be coming down to the library shortly. I will be down there, and I hope you enjoy your time. Bye.